So now we want to add or subtract square roots. We can come up with a couple, different examples. Let's try. We'll simplify the square root, 3 times the square root of 5 plus 9 times the square root of 5. Now in order for us to add these two, you notice we have two terms, right? When I say I'm adding two things together. Now the important thing is that the square root parts have to be the same. So here we have a square root of 5 and a square root of 5. So essentially what we're doing is we're factoring out that square root of 5, right? Because what we're left with on the inside is a 3 plus a 9. And that gives us 12 times the square root of 5. Okay, so it's very important that the square root portions are the same. But let's take a look at this example here. Okay, we're subtracting. We have negative 2 times the square root of 50 minus the square root of 8. And if you notice, the square root parts aren't the same. But that's not a problem. So all's not lost here. Remember, we know how to evaluate this or simplify this, right? So here we have negative 2 times the square root of, instead of 50, we recognize that 50 is 2 times 25, right? So we can rewrite it that way. And square root of 8 is 2 times 4. So let's see what we can do. We have a perfect square in here. So that changes. That means we can pull out a 5, right? Because the square root of 25 is 5. So we still have a negative 2 out front. But we're going to bring out a 5, so we're going to multiply that by 5. So that goes away. So we're still left with the 2 on the inside. Now for our next part, we recognize that we have a square root of 4, and we still, let's see, so we have a minus here, so we can pull out a square root of 4 is 2, so that goes away, but we still have a square root of 2 inside, right? So out here we have negative 10 times the square root of 2 minus 2 times the square root of 2. Now, if we notice, our radical parts are the same. So we simply have minus 10 minus 2, all times the square root of 2. That equals negative 12 times the square root of 2. And that's our answer. So let's take a look at this one. It says simplify 9 times the square root of 5 plus 2 times the square root of 3. If I look at my radical parts, they're not the same. And if I look further, I still can't reduce the square root of 5 anymore, right? There's no perfect square in there. There's no perfect square in square root of 3, so this is as simplified as it gets. Your answer is just going to stay 9 times the square root of 5 plus 2 times the square root of 3. Can't simplify that any further.